Reverend Father Reginald Ivor Odate Lawson. I stand for the heritage man of Adoa TV. God bless you, and let's keep our nation great and strong. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay Ghanaian, and love to all. Cheers.
It's 1800 GMT. Good to come to your homes with another edition of the Evening News Bulletin on Adoa Television. We're live all across the world on TV and online from digital address G8226-0733. We're also live on digital channel 37 and 38. My name is Naa Anyemaa Collison. Thank you for choosing us. Let's take our top stories for this evening. In tonight's bulletin, the comment by President Nana Akufo-Addo has been described as unfortunate and myopic by the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Bagbin, as he encourages the plant tariff to go for a review. Also in this bulletin, Member of Parliament for Garu constituency wants the Agric Minister to render an unqualified apology to the people of Garu over the alleged smuggling of fertilizer claims. In business this evening, the Institute of Energy Security has predicted shortage of fuel as the city depreciates further and oil prices soar higher. So want to stay with us for the next 60 minutes because details of these and many others coming up in a jiffy. Let's start off from the parliamentary. The Supreme Court on Wednesday, 9th March 2022 ruled that a Deputy Speaker of Parliament can be counted during the formation of a quorum for parliamentary decision-making and participation in voting while presiding. This comes after the private legal practitioner, Justice Abdullahi, filed a case against the Attorney General. He had asked the Supreme Court to interpret Article 102 and 104 of the 1992 Constitution and declare the action of Mr. Osei as unconstitutional. This application was dismissed by the Apex Court. This has met several reactions and sparked a lot of public debate, and in the following report speaks more.
The Supreme Court on Wednesday, March 9, 2022, ruled that a Deputy Speaker of Parliament can be counted during the formation of a quorum for parliamentary decision-making and participation in voting while presiding. This comes after private legal practitioner Justice Abdullahi filed a case against the Attorney General. He had asked the Supreme Court to interpret Article 102 and 104 of the 1992 Constitution and declare the action of Mr. Osei Owusu as unconditional. This application was dismissed by the Apex Court. This has been met with several reactions and sparkled a lot public debate.
I couldn't understand what all of this furore and controversy that was artificially generated. We're being told that the decision of the court amounts to judicial interference in the work of Parliament. I'm not quite sure that the people who are saying this have actually taken the time to read the Constitution of our country. It says so in black and white. All organs of the Ghanaian state, including me as the head of the executive, we are all subject to the teachings of the Constitution. There's no body in the Ghanaian state that is above the fundamental law of the land. So I'm astonished about how much public energy has been wasted, I would say so with the greatest of respect, been wasted in an area, on an issue where there is so much clarity. And I'm happy that the court, and I'm sure as you're aware, the Supreme Court, when it is declaring the meaning of the Constitution, and it does so unanimously, that is the most emphatic way in which the court can pronounce.
Former President John Dramani Mahama on Thursday, March 12, 2022, described the ruling as shocking. According to the presidential candidate for NDC in the 2020 polls, the ruling is an unfortunate interpretation for convenience that sets a dangerous precedent of judicial interference in parliamentary procedure in the future. The minority in parliament has also described it as an unreasonable decision, noting that it is a judicial support for the controversial e-levy.
To put it aptly, this ruling is judicial support for e-levy, nothing more. For a struggling economy in distress, and judicial support for the restoration of a matter that they have said is constitutional is repugnant to the provisions of Article 102 and 104. But what can we do? They are clothed with the mandate and authority to interpret the law. This is a travesty. This is a travesty of parliamentary justice and a step in the growth and development of multi-party constitutional democracy built on the spirit and principle of checks and balances. Is it not intriguing for us to hear, whilst we await the full reasoning of the Supreme Court, to hear them that, I'm quoting from one of the justices, that the quorum in Article 102 is not the same thing as the quorum in Article 104. The judiciary of Ghana is also failing Ghana's parliamentary democracy in their inability to appreciate the true meaning of Article 110 of the Constitution, that Parliament shall by standing orders regulate its own proceedings. When we regulate our own proceedings, and today reference is only made to the 1992 Constitution and not to the standing orders of the Parliament of Ghana, and in particular, Standing Order 13, maybe they don't deserve us according them the offices they occupy. Maybe that is what the Supreme Court is ruling. We will just recognize them as MP for Fomina and MP for Bekwai, nothing more.
But for the man at the center of all the controversy, he says, has been vindicated by the court's ruling.
And I'm glad that the decision practically affirms the position I took. There's still some misrepresentation as to whether I participated in the vote itself on the night of the 30th. That I must emphasize, that everybody who is in doubt must go back and look at the clip. It was a voice vote, and I did not participate in the voice vote. But I insisted that I be counted as a member of parliament present to constitute the quorum before a decision was taken. Indeed, this decision affirms that position that I took. I find that very refreshing. Matters that have never arisen are now in the fore because of the numbers we have in the chambers. So anytime there's disagreement, as I've said already, I will interpret the rules and the law as I understand it. I encourage people who disagree with me to boldly state their position, and if need be, refer to the appropriate body like the Supreme Court to guide us. As of now, at the end of it all, we are being guided. What we have not done before, where the way was not clearly marked out by our own standing orders, have now been cleared by the Supreme Court, and I think it will help us advance our democracy and our practice in this chamber.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Samnate George, says the ruling of the Supreme Court on the voting rights of the Deputy Speaker could be problematic. While he disagrees with the decision of the Apex Court as it interferes with the authority and independence of Parliament, he says it also potentially opens a Pandora box with ominous outcomes.
And we will employ every legal means within the parliamentary procedure to ensure that this long time tested practice of parliament, which is 30 years old this year, will be upheld. Until the Lord Justices decide to start expunging parts of the Constitution, like 1045, for us to see that the application of the law is not skewed and imbalanced, I do not see why anyone who has a conflict of interest should be allowed to vote. Because 1045 says you have a conflict, do not vote. Why did the Lord Justices go silent on the standing orders of Parliament that say that a chairman of a committee does not have a vote? A chairman of a committee in Parliament does not have a casting an original vote. So why are they not saying that that is also a deprivation of his constituents? I mean, we pray the Lord Justices. Their role is to bring clarity, and not rather lead us into confusion and obfuscate what the facts are. The law is clear. We have heard them. They've passed their ruling. But Parliament, we are masters of our own procedure. We will carry out what we believe is right on the floor of the chamber. I'm suggesting that I will protect the independence of Parliament from any interference by any other arm of government. We have stood up to the executive. We will stand up to any other arm that seeks to interfere. Or I will stand up to any other arm of government that seeks to interfere in the work of Parliament. And I can tell you that I am sure most of my colleagues are of like mind. Because this is a dangerous slope. Tomorrow, you would have someone go to court and then the Supreme Court may also rule and say that they are holding someone criminally liable for comments he made on the floor of the House. This is a Pandora's box we would not and should not open.
Also join the debate via social media platforms at Adoa Television Ghana on Facebook. Let's still a while longer on this particular subject matter because Speaker Bagbin has described President Nana Akufo-Addo's comment on the Supreme Court ruling on deputy speakers as unfortunate and myopic. In his view, the Supreme Court ruling is not only an absurdity but a reckless incursion into the remit of Parliament. In a statement cited, the Speaker of Parliament said, and I quote, "I have resisted the temptation of making a comment on the judgment of the Supreme Court on the issue of the voting rights of deputy speakers when presiding. But the unfortunate and myopic comment of President Nana Akufo-Addo has compelled me to let it out." He continued to state that the Supreme Court's decision is to say the list is not only an absurdity but a reckless incursion into the remit of Parliament. The trend of anonymity is equal. It does not help explore or expand our legal precedents. The President's comment is myopic and unfortunate. It only goes to worsen the scheme between the executive and Parliament, he stressed. The impartiality of the Speaker, Deputy Speaker or presiding officer has been treasured and fought for by this country throughout our democratic development. Mr. President, the issue being discussed is not about Parliament being above the law. Everyone knows that the Parliament is not above the law. The executive and judiciary are also equally not above the law. The issue being discussed is a political question doctrine. It took centuries to detail out the strengths of this doctrine, and principles are settled as to when and how this closed book can be opened. Please, I encourage you to stay off to go for review. From the Supreme Court, let's go to another court-related story because the allegations made by the Attorney General, Godfred Yeboah Odame, that he, Oliver Vermovo, has failed to cooperate with the police investigation about his arrest, detention and interrogation has been dismissed by the convener. He filed a report responding to the concerns raised by the Attorney General, explained the search warrant presented to him and will show up to stand for trial if granted bail.
Hashtag Face the Country movement convener Oliver Barker-Vormawor has dismissed allegations by AG that he has failed to cooperate with police investigations throughout his arrest, detention and interrogations. Documents filed on behalf of the AG at the Tema High Court had accused the youth activist of not assisting with investigations. Mr. Barker-Vormawor, who is said to be unwell, has put in application for bail through his lawyers. He's facing the charge of treason felony over allegations he has instigated members of his group to overthrow government. He has been in the custody of the police since February 11, 2022, when he was arrested at the Kotoka International Airport. Documents filed in opposition to the bill on behalf of the AG spells out challenges investigators have faced so far. The AG says the youth activist has refused to obey a court order requiring that he grants the police access to his mobile phone. A search warrant is also said to have been granted police investigators to visit the residence of Mr. Barker-Vormawor. The Attorney General says he has failed to show the police any fixed place of abode within Ghana where he resides. That having regard to the nature of the offense and the punishment which conviction will entail, the applicant, a person with no fixed place of abode in Ghana, is not likely to appear to stand trial if granted bail, the AG argued. The application for bail was to be heard on Thursday, March 10, 2022, but was adjourned as the lawyers for the youth activist said they had just received the documents filed by the agent's office. The case will be heard on Monday, 14 March 2022. The hashtag Face the Country convener has filed an affidavit responding to the concern raised by the AG. He explains that when he was presented with a search warrant and he led the police to conduct intrusive and thorough searches at his home and all the other places that were named in the warrant. Adding to his mobile phone, he explains when he received the warrant, his lawyers wrote to the Inspector General of Police entreating him to put in place the necessary agreements for the search to be conducted in accordance with the warrant. He added that he has since filed a case challenging the validity of the said search warrant. The phone, according to him, remains in the custody of the police. That I will make myself readily available to go through the present criminal proceedings, and as I have done and continue to fully cooperate with any investigations which this criminal process may entail. Portions of the agent's documents allege that two different women had claimed to be the wife of the youth activist. That following this arrest, applicant directed the police officers to speak to a lady in the United Kingdom that the applicant claimed was his wife, which allegation eventually turned out to be false. Subsequently, another woman showed up at the Asham.
I will still insist that the 4,160 farmers referred to are not the only beneficiaries of planting for food and jobs in the Garu district. And the reason why we excluded Garu
to Parliament now, because Member of Parliament for Garu constituency, Honorable Albert Ekuka, is unhappy with a statement made by the Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Akoto Efriye, in a response to the question he was answering on the floor of Parliament from a member. In answering a supplementary question from the Garu Member of Parliament, Honorable Akoto Efriye lamented that the Garu constituency has be noted for smuggling of fertilizers. This does not settle down well with the Garu legislator, who has called for the Agric Minister to apologize and also make strength to ramp down the matter of smuggling in the Garu constituency, which he insists not a border town.
I will still insist that the 4,160 farmers referred to are not the only beneficiaries of planting for food and jobs in the Garu district. And the reason why we included Garu as one of the districts not to conduct the business was because it had attained notoriety in the smuggling of fertilizers. And that is why we have the evidence. There are a lot of cases at the police that are still being investigated and so on. So we have reasons why we chose these specific districts not to do business directly in them, because there was huge leakage of fertilizers from these specific districts before the decision was taken to exclude them from having direct supplies. So, Mr. Speaker, that is the reason why Garu was included in the list. Thank you.
First of all, let me thank you for the opportunity, and let me also put on record that the minister's response, which listed Garu district as one of the 22 border districts or municipalities that a policy has affected it because some smuggling is taking place. I want to put on record that Garu is not a border town. And so, first, the minister got it wrong, totally wrong. Garu is not a border town. He might be referring to a different town. And then from the minister's own presentation, he indicated that the suppliers of the fertilizers are not necessarily from Garu. It means that they were picked across the country, which means that they may be coming from different areas in Ghana. So if there's some smuggling taking place, why can't the minister hold the suppliers responsible? And then he's accusing the people of Garu. So I take very strong exception of the minister's allegation of the people of Garu being, smugglers. And I call for an unqualified apology from the minister. I'm taking it back to my constituents, and I will not take it very kindly with him if the minister doesn't apologize. The fertilizers didn't come, and even that what came, per the minister's answer, some were smuggled. And the smuggling couldn't have been people from Garu, because it means that it is the suppliers, those who are supplying the fertilizer to the area. So the minister should take some of these things very seriously, that if he really wants to get the people of Ghana to be self-sufficient in terms of food and to create the jobs that the policy is seeking to do, they must monitor these programs and see how effectively they are performing. So many people, the farms grew halfway, no fertilizers, to fertilize the crops, and then the yield was very bad. As I speak to you, the Bestfire Rural Bank, which is the main bank facility within the Garu encatchment area, farmers are heavily indebted because they took loans from the facility, and with the intention of increasing their farms, only to be disappointed because the planting for food fertilizers never came. Minister, only 35,000 mini bags. Let me use that word. That's a 25 kilogram. The 25 kilogram bags is what was supplied. And as I was saying, ask any agric officer, you need a minimum of 4 bags of maxi fertilizer. That's the 50 kilogram fertilizer to be able to fertilize an acre effectively. So when, you are only supplying 35,000, which means that 17,000 bags of the 50 kilograms of fertilizer were supplied to the people of Garu. How many acres can that, fertilize? That is the reason why we are having a shortage of maize already in the country. Go check the price of maize. It's already heading towards 500 Ghana cedis in Garu. I don't know the price in Accra here, which means that that's a symptom of food shortage in the country. And I think that the minister should sit up and check the supply of fertilizer to ensure that the farmers get the fertilizer to be able to supply food to feed the people of Garu and Ghana at large.
Team throws the focus on cloth today. The idea is to know how the names and meanings of fabric influence its purchase. Rachel Kwashi had a conversation with a cloth vendor and has come through with the following report.
Cloth, also known as fabric, is an essential item in every individual's life as it is considered the second skin of the body. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Maslow 1987, cloth fall into the category of psychological needs and fulfill the fundamental need of protection for all individuals. Not only does it serve as a basic human needs, it also symbolizes an individual. Fabrics have become a communication medium used to convey who the person is. There are many varied styles of dress, and the type of cloth plays an integral role in fashioning the garment. The name of a particular cloth is no exception, as some people are very passionate about the name and the meanings of the type of cloth they purchase for certain occasions. As part of activities to mark the Heritage Month in the month of March, the news team visited some cloths and fabrics vendors to get the names and meanings of some fabrics and how both influences its purchase. Madame Gloria is one of the cloth vendors and she spoke to the news team.
Okay, mama, ye anineni. I'm a function in don't me home, mama. Ekume for function. For na ekume home for funeral. Yala mama. Me kume call gbe because of gbe ni inwo. I'm a call kefio yala. Oye kuni achole. Ya hwehwe kese bi abo. Oye kuni achole tamon. Ya pe bi afri ensem. Oye kuni aka ma mi mu wayebi. No mama le we short for yala. Gbe amin ma gbe ke wuna. No gbe bi antone mama na me fi ofen ko hin egbe. No ko woye ekumeye. For funeral gbe ye na. She what traditional way say le ekumeye ake akwa aba kente ke ni bi amu amegbe na me hin. No mama okay, most of mama ene actually bi akroji mframa ene subra ene obapa ene akufu ke ene enchucha hu nchiremi ke ene ludu das ene nchubin ene hu afi bi esan no mama le fen ko kegbe mama fen ko kegbe ni hin.
The name of my cloth I'm putting on is called Eniwa. I bought it because of the color and not the name. Let's do some other stories now. The Member of Parliament for Tyne constituency, Adama Suleimana, says the reason why miscreants could be found in the police services because of poor background checks done during recruitment. According to him, the Ghana Police Service has the ability and capability to do diligent checks on applicants who are recruited into the service, but yet failed to do so. Speaking on AM Ghana Breakfast Show, the lawmaker said there is no excuse having these numbers of miscreants into the security service because all the factors and conditions that would enable the service to do the right requirement and recruitment are available, he stressed. This comment comes on the back of the involvement of 4 police officers in multiple bullion van robberies in the Greater Accra region.
Like my brother said, it brings into question how we recruit our police service, our policemen, and the security services in general. I believe that we don't have any excuse whatsoever to have this number of miscreants in our service, because we have all the factors and the conditions to be able to do the right recruitment. Talk about the numbers. When the security services, the police, the fire service, the immigration service, all the armed forces, and then the prison service, open nominations, try to recruit people. See the number of people who lined up. It's an opportunity. The number of applicants, the huge number of applicants, was an opportunity for us to do due diligence, because now you have a large pool to select from. But what do we see? What do we see from the selection criteria? How are the people selected? How come the security, who are supposed to be the intelligence agencies, refuse to do due diligence, and we have as many as 6 police personnel in one gang? This is what we have found. But the others that we have not found, we don't know. This is a gang. 6, as many as 6. How did we recruit these people? What due diligence did we do? Like he said, reactionary measure. Now, these are all reactionary. If the police have been proactive in their selection criteria, maybe we will not have these people wrecking mayhem on innocent, which they were alive, to add to the 4, so that we can go to the bottom of everything that happened. Because I suspect clearly that this is, because according to the police, it's a syndicate. Syndicate means it has so many facets. You see, don't be surprised about the proliferation of arms in the system. This could be one of the avenues. So I know this is Accra. We don't know what is happening in Kumasi. There could be a syndicate in Kumasi, a syndicate in Sunyani, in Tamale, in Koforidia, in Ho. Lawyer, your hometown. There could be a syndicate there. Akachi. You see, so if we are able to deal with this, then the bottom line is the recruitment criteria. A lot of young men who are decent, who have the character, are on the street looking for these opportunities to enter the police service. They are not getting the opportunities. And then we give it to people who have questionable characters. They tend to rain mayhem on us. Any public office that you are holding, including the police service, the security services.
Honorable Adama Sulemana is a member of Parliament for Tyne constituency, speaking on AM Ghana Show. If you just joined us, you are watching the evening news bulletin at 6 here on Adoa Television. My name is Naa Anyemaa Collison. We'll be back with more stories. Please do stay with us.
Blue City is a manufacturer. Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Hi, welcome to Sonotech Lab. We work on a wide range of samples, blood, body fluids, and even samples like stool. We work with updated methods and sophisticated equipment just to bring you the most accurate results in the best time possible.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
For staying with us, let's do the latest in the world of business. We'll start off from the oil and petroleum sector. The Institute of Energy Security has indicated that the country could experience a fuel shortage in the coming days. The executive of the IES, Naa Anyemaa Collison, said the shortage will be influenced by the depreciation of the Ghanaian cedi and the increase in oil prices on the international markets. These factors, according to him, will lead the importation of the oil and petrol into the system for a less count. The Institute for Energy Security has indicated that the country could experience a fuel shortage in the coming days. The executive director of IES, Naa Anyemaa Collison, said the shortage will be influenced by the depreciation of the cedi and the increase in oil prices on the international market. He said, and I quote, "I regret to announce this bad news. I hope it doesn't happen. What we have observed over the past few months within the downstream sector of the petroleum industry is that the depreciation of the Ghanaian cedi and the international oil price rise is impacting negatively on working capital. Between the last few weeks, the cedi has depreciated from about 7 Ghana cedis to 7 Ghana cedis 40 pesos, giving a clear 40 pesos on our business. If we are bringing the same quantity of 600 metric tons today, you would need 7 Ghana cedis 40 pesos. That would amount to about 4,440 pesos. And so 30,000 metric tons in the next window would need equivalent of the 7.2 million Ghana cedis, a clear depletion of wearing capital. These factors, according to him, will lead to the importation of less fuel into the system. Meanwhile, the chief executive officer of the Ghana Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors had a conflicting view. from that, the Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee has rescheduled the commencement of its second meeting of the year to review economic developments in the country. The 105th MPC meeting of the Central Bank was earlier set for March 23 to March 25, but has now been rescheduled a week earlier from Wednesday, March 16 to March 18, 2022. A statement issued by the bank, however, did not specifically state the reason for its decision. The press conference will be held on Monday, 21st March 2022, the central bank stated. The 105th MPC meeting is expected to entail the initiation of proposals for the formulation of the central bank's policy provision of statistical data and economic advice. Ghana Revenue Authority has set April 1, 2021 to begin collecting taxes from non-resident Ghanaians who undertake businesses such as using Facebook to sell or e-commerce. The move is to ensure that the country mobilize adequate revenue and widen the tax net for national development. Speaking at the launch of the e-commerce portal of the Tax Registration and Compliance Commissioner General, Reverend Adoa Wusuamua, said all is set to tax online businesses for non-resident Ghanaians. The Ghana Revenue Authority has set April 1, 2022 to begin collecting taxes from non-resident Ghanaians who undertake online businesses such as using Facebook to sell or electronic commerce. The move is to ensure that the country mobilizes adequate revenue and widen the tax net for national development. Speaking at the launch of the e-commerce portal for tax registration and compliance, Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Dr. Adoa Wusuamua, said all is set to tax online businesses of non-resident Ghanaians. The portal that has been launched to track and trace earnings of social media and online businesses is going live before April 1, 2022 deadline for the beginning of the collection. This non-resident initiative will serve as a pilot to the overall aim of taxing all social media and online operators in the country. He is confident affected businesses will comply with the directive and file their tax obligations through the electronic portal. Though he noted that this is just a pilot phase, the country is likely to generate some 1.7 billion Ghana cedis from the tax for the first year of implementation. All non-compliant company will be blocked from doing any profitable business in Ghana through a system operated in collaboration with the Bank of Ghana, also known as social media tax. This tax mechanism would also capture businesses on Facebook, WhatsApp, Netflix, Amazon, of electricity could increase if the Electricity Company of Ghana (ECG) succeeds in pushing through with plans to adjust its tariff in the coming weeks. Director in the office of the Managing Director of the ECG, Mr. Noble, announced this in Tamale after the meeting with the Public Utility Regulatory Commission in Tamale. The PURC indicated that the expected review will be based on the overhead cost, which affects the power generation and distribution, including inflation. Ghana's inflation rate hit 15.7% in February, representing a 1.8 percentage jump from January 2022. He also noted that the tariff review would factor in classification of customers. The last tariff increase was in October 2019 with a 5.94 percentage increment. In August 2021, the Africa Center for Energy Policy kicked against any possible increment in electricity tariff, citing the wastage within the state power company. This was after an audit report by the Attorney General revealed that the Electricity Company of Ghana between 2014 and 2016 procured prepaid meters and conductors worth 59 million Ghana cedis that were uninstalled. The report is also noted that the ECG incurred expenses of over 180 million Ghana cedis as a company charge by Site Energy in 2018. You can get more business news on our website www.adoanewsonline.com/business. We'll be back with the actions in the world of sports.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240 926 564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Hi, my name is Matthias Domlan, lead radiographer at Sonotech Medical Center. Together with my colleague radiographers, our role is to produce high-quality digital X-rays, CT scans, MRI scans, and the use of other imaging modalities to assist radiologists and other medical professionals to monitor, diagnose, and treat patient injury or illnesses.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's do some sports news. The Confederation of African Football will stage a Pan-African Football Championship in the coming months. The International School Soccer Tournament, according to CAF, will be introduced into schools across the continent, targeting both boys and girls in an effort to use the lessons of football to guide the growth and development and shape future leaders.
Ghana is part of 6 countries from the West African Football Union Zone B committed to the idea from the continental football body and will partake in the maiden edition. The other 5 countries making the zonal representation for the 2022-2023 season includes Benin, Burkina Faso, La Côte d'Ivoire, Niger, and Togo. The vision of the competition is to create a future in football for every boy and girl in Africa with a purpose of exploiting opportunities within the values of football to holistically develop African boys and girls. The CAF Pan-African Schools Football Championship is part of the new leadership under Dr. Patrice Motsepe's plan of developing football from a Pan-African point of view from the grassroots with the goal of fostering a new generation of African youth. The Ghana Football Association, in partnership with the Ministry of Youth and Sport and the Ministry of Education, have committed Ghana to the championship, and in the coming days, the Football Association will provide more information to the public on this competition for schools, which will be organized with the Ghana Education Service. School football is high on the agenda of the Ghana Football Association. Schools in Ghana have been participating in such games since time immemorial to unearth talent, create healthy competition among schools and students, and seal bragging rights in the end. The inter-school competition aids children in developing the ability to handle the pressure through competitions. Students can gain better understanding of how to deal with conflicting opinions and ideas.
Other sports news this evening, Rugby League Federation Ghana is set to launch its fifth straight season, the annual ninth championship, which is slated to take place on Sunday, March 13 and March 20 at the University of Ghana, Ajas Park, Legon. As part of this year's event, the Federation has confirmed plans to launch elite women and youth versions alongside the men's competition to advance the women and club sections of the game in the country.
The Rugby League Federation of Ghana, a body which oversees rugby activities in the country, will launch its league on Sunday 13th and 20th of March 2022. The two-week tournament seeks to tickle rugby league enthusiasts with fascinating entertainment as well as establish a competitive edge among clubs ahead of the 13th championship this May. Matches will be played under a three-round group basis with group toppers facing off for a final in the senior men's while the women and youth division involve a single round match format. Competing clubs in the men's division involves defending champions Accra Panthers, Scholars, Bulls Pirates, Nungwa Tigers and debutant Accra Majestics, and Africa Warriors Rugby League Club. In the youth division, Africa Warriors are set to lock horns with Nungwa Tigers and Firm Foundation. The Trailblazing Women's Championship will be competed by Scholars, Bulls, Accra Panthers, Accra Majestics, and Nungwa Tigers. This competition will provide an opportunity for clubs and players to showcase and unearth new talents. Rugby League Federation Ghana has been chosen to host the 2022 Middle East Africa Championship, which will run from 27th September to 2nd October 2022. Four nations will take part, that is, Morocco, Nigeria, and Cameroon, joining the host in what will be the third edition of the championship. There is greater incentive for the winners this time, with victory seeing them join the qualification process in the continent for the 2025 Rugby League World Cup. Nigeria is the current holder of the trophy, having triumphed in 2019. The last two scheduled competitions being postponed because of the global pandemic.
Will be our package for today's edition of the Evening News Bulletin on Adoa Television. Just before we go, let's take our top stories for the evening. In tonight's bulletin, the comment by President Nana Akufo-Addo has been described as unfortunate and myopic by the Speaker of Parliament, Albert Bagbin, and he encourages a plaintiff to go for review. Also in the bulletin, Member of Parliament for Garu constituency wants the Agric Minister to render an unqualified apology to the people of Garu over alleged smuggling of fertilizer claims. This evening, the Institute of Energy Security has predicted shortage of fuel as the city depreciates further and oil prices soar higher. Update of these stories and many others in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, you can visit our website www.adoanewsonline.com. For me and the rest of the team, you see us again very soon. Please do well to stay with us on Adoa Television because we bring good things